Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the Mass Make number 2 Parchment Notes coffee dye and green dye mixture. I already started opening this, so I didn't want to spill it. So I have a little bit of coffee in my pot here, and when you're saving coffee, old coffee to use for dyeing, I recommend putting it in an airtight container that seals, or a jar, and that you can, really tighten the lid on. Because if you just pour your coffee into a little like glass on the side of the sink or something like that, after a few days it's going to get a little moldy and funky. So you definitely want to keep your coffee airtight. So I have this cute little pot. Isn't this the cutest thing? Okay, it was in my garden. So today we're going to be doing these notes, and we're going to be focusing more on the green notes because they're really quite lovely. I've got some even greener ones that I've already put in some diaries or journals or whatever you want to call them. And so these are just coffee and vintage photo and ground espresso inked edges. So, I don't even think I inked the edges of this one. I think it's just coffee dye dipped. So you can always do that if you can't, if you don't have the inks. Look at how nice that's totally coffeeed. So yeah, so we're doing a mixture of the coffee and green today to get this lovely green finish. Get ready for St. Patrick's Day and forest moss, or the forest junk journal make soon. So I did find some parchment paper finally after looking for 3 days. Sorry for the delay on video number 2. I actually did number 3 already. So we're going to do number 2, and then we're going to get back in succession, back in order here. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of coffee in the pot. I chose to use a white casserole dish today so you could really see the colors. Hopefully my little light does this justice, because I wish this light was up higher. Well, I think you can see good enough. I hope. So we're going to add, we're just going to use a little bit of that coffee because we really want the green to shine in this batch. If I can open this. Yeah. We really want the green to come through. And it's strong stuff. So let's stir it up and see what we got. We can use a swirly fork to swirl it. Ooh, look how dark that is. Wow, that's almost like we might have to add more coffee. I don't know. And I didn't thicken this coffee either. If we want to make the coffee kind of crunchy and thick, I like to add, of course I can't find it now. Where are you? Wow. Some instant coffee. Kind of give it, some like thickener. This is just some cheap, just get the cheapest crap. Because seriously, if you're not drinking it, whoa, that's a lot. If you're not drinking it and you're using it for arts and crafts, or just get one that you don't mind, that you'd like to support, if you're like into causes and things. Ooh, look at that. Look at that murky, muddy, froggy green. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I did put a little bit too much crunch. This is really swampy, isn't it? Oh, God, yes. We like the swamp. This will be perfect for the mushroom journal that I'm working on right now, which, as soon as I get these Mass Make videos done, I'll give you a sneak peek of, because I'm working on a lot of fun stuff in that journal. Wow, I like this. Okay, we're just gonna thin it out just a touch with just a dab of coffee, because it's awfully thick. That's almost like forest moss, the ink, huh? So that's just, you know, food coloring, green food coloring, old coffee, and a sprinkle of instant coffee. Gives you that lovely pond scum. Yeehaw. We've got the yeehaw in the house. Alright, here we go. I took a picture of my drying rack before, and I'll take a picture of my drying rack after to accompany this. Now, are we just doing edge dipping, or are we doing hole dipping? Because if we're doing hole dipping, we're going to need quite a bit more. Let's do a little more. Let's just go for broke here. So when sharing on social media, they prefer you share all the pictures, apparently, in your post, and then add the link to it, but you're not allowed to put the link. I learned that on the hard way. Stepped on some toesies in the junk journal groups already. I'm trying to behave. Please don't kick me out. I promise I'll behave. Oh, that's lovely already. Look at that. And you know, if each edge was torn like that edge is, it would all grab so beautifully like this. We're just going to edge this one. We'll go for broke on the next one. Start off slow here. Alright, time to dry you. These papers are going to be really nice. What I should do is fold these in half so they fall down on the drying rack a little bit easier. So that's what I'm going to do. Got a full paper, but I folded it in half. Two torn edges. This is going to come out very nice. So we're going to do the whole thing. This is going to be pretty. I think I'll fold it the other way too, just to make sure everything gets covered. Oh, these are really lovely. Oh, my Band-Aid's going to turn green. That's okay. Wow. Alright. I'm going to drape some of that on the next page because I have way more than I need here. You know, some of these I can just paint with some of the pages. I should show you what I'm doing, but I can't. It's kind of an off-camera secret. Oh, wow. So yeah, just coat your parchment. The parchment paper soaks up the coffee and ink like no other paper. It is truly beautiful when it dries, as you saw my notes in the beginning. When I discovered this method, I was just like, wow, this is it, guys. I've never seen anybody else do this like I do it. And I know it's kind of gross, it's kind of grungy, but you know, it's just one of those things. That's one of the reasons I fell in love with Louisa Heinzel's work, because she's really, really super grungy. And she doesn't hold back. She gets right in there and just makes a huge mess. Totally inspires the hell out of me. Not afraid to get her fingers all dirty and grungy. And you know, some of these crafting ladies, they're fantastic. They paint their nails and all. That's not me. That's not Louisa either. She's like totally just goes for it. What's the point of painting your nails when you're just going to be getting in here and getting all funky? And well, I'm going to leave a couple of open spots on this one, I guess. Why not? I'm going to just make it interesting. So yeah, I took the picture before of my drying rack, and what I have are dummy papers. I use the same drying papers over and over. Someday they're going to be really beautiful, but for now I just let the dyeing drips dry in you know, over time they little more character each time I use the dummy papers, and someday I might just take those papers and make some art out of them, because they are coming out pretty darn cool. They're going to be especially cool after this green, because before they had coffee, beet, and avocado dyed colors on them. Beet and avocado are pretty similar. Avocado's light pink. Yeah, the skins, they turn out. I'll do videos of each dyeing in the future, because they're a lot of fun. This is kind of cheating because we're using food coloring, but you know what? I love the effect. I just think it's really brilliant. And these notes seriously look like they've traveled through the swamp to get wherever they're trying to get to. It's kind of fun. Oh boy, my floor is already a mess. That's okay. I should have put a towel down underneath, but I didn't. But that's okay. Because every time I dye inside, usually I do this outside, but it's been so cold lately, even for California. It's super cold here. It's winter time, you know. That's why I've got my hoodies on all the time in the craft room, because it's drafty, a little drafty in the kitchen. And I've pretty much taken over the entire dining eating area for my crafts. So I have a tiny little small 1-bedroom mobile, and it's, you know, very limited space. So when I get crafty, I pretty much my projects take over this whole place. Same with beading, clay work, hemp work, all of that. I do all of that stuff. Yep, I'm a crafty gal. But since I discovered paper crafting, oh my god, it's taken me to a whole nother level of happiness, because I discovered it right when the pandemic hit, and we were all, you know, locked in our homes and stuck away, and I had no choice but to get into a project, and it was too cold at the time for clay work, so I skipped that. I wasn't feeling the bead work or not work at the time, and I happened across a paper video. I think it was one of Pam's videos, because she definitely was one of my first. Pam at the Paper Outpost, of course. Hey, this parchment paper is lighter. Okay, so this is white-ish. I do have some torn edged ones, which I'll be using too, but let's see how this turns out, because it doesn't have the yellowy effect. Ooh, this is going to be lovely. Okay, so yeah, so I discovered Pam. I watched all of her videos, and she has a lot of videos. It took me a few months, but now whenever one comes out, of course, I watch it right away. I'm a diehard that way. And my other favorite, since I discovered Pam, I discovered Eva at Bohemian Crafting, another favorite, and of course Louisa Heinzel. And her best friend Barbara, 49 Dragonflies, they both do beautiful work. Ooh, this edging's going to come out nice. I can already tell. Look at that muddy, funky, swampy mud color. Oh. Like seriously, if you can't afford to get the Tim Holtz distress inks and oxides and all that, and you really want forest moss, this is it, man. Homemade forest moss right here. Can't beat it. Not trying to take any business away there, but golly, this is beautiful. Oh no, I sprinkled dye all the way over here. I guess I have to dye these pieces now too. Shoot, what a little piggy. Well, hey, I think you guys get the idea, right? Just, oh, that's something we didn't do with these either. If you crumple it up, it really gets in the cracks. I'll do it farther away so it doesn't like, ooh, that one has bubbles on it. This one's too pretty to crumple up. I'm not crumpling this one up. But, I'm going to crumple this one up and see how it turns out. Alright, let's just check it out. I'm glad I didn't put a lot of dye in here today. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Just beautiful. I'm glad I didn't put a lot of dye in here today because we're just doing a small batch of papers because I thought I had a bunch of parchment paper somewhere. And I looked and I looked and I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. And I never found it. But I did find a couple pieces that I tore up in a pretty cool fashion, so I got lucky and I'm able to make this video, because otherwise I would not be. Okay, should we use up every last drop of this stuff? I don't, mean to be a stickler or anything, but I think it's a good idea. Oh wow, is that going to make that dye run on this already stamped stuff? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it's definitely making it weaker. Well, we'll have a faint... No, that's okay. We'll stop right there. We'll see how that turns out. Hopefully that turns out nice. Oh my goodness, the floor is a mess. I'm going to take a few of these papers and just put them on the floor. The floor is clean. I totally scrubbed the floor today because I knew I was doing this. I always do. But I like to let those papers soak those up. Okay, there's no more room on the drying rack, so I'm going to lay these over top of the ones that are already on there. If anything, it'll just give it more character. That's the way we roll here at the Moon Ephemera Emporium. Yeah, I shortened that name. It was actually Moon Apothecary and Ephemera Emporium, and I shortened it to just Moon Ephemera Emporium because it was just way too long. And I had to pick one niche or the other. I can't, I don't want to scatter myself, so I'm really going for the paper. I'm going to start dyeing paper on the full moon. And that way you have blessed moon paper. Yay! How cool is that? Oh yeah, I don't see anybody else doing that. I'm trying to find my spot in the game here, because these crafty ladies, man, they're super crafty. And that, many of them have their own little unique style, and I do too. So I just got to jump on in here with my little unique style and not second guess myself, because I've got a lot of cool ideas and a lot of good spin-offs on some of the steampunk stuff. Some quickie how-tos. I started getting ready for this 10-item mass make, and I already have a list of 5 more items I could do that I haven't even put on this list, that I'm going to probably do a round 2. Because I have so many more ideas for mass make, and as I, reach in my box of treasures and start filling stuff up, I'm like, oh, I should do a mass make of this and a mass make of that. Like ruffles and edging and all the wonderful things we use to stuff our journals with. Oh, these fingers. They're getting quite lovely. Hey, I think we've just about gotten to the end of this. Alright, we're going to call this a wrap here in a minute. We have one more to go. One that's already got a couple drops on it. There we are. Okay, so what do you guys think? Totally groovy or what? Should we try the other colors next time? I've got these two. Never even touched them. Yellow, blue, and red. I love the green so much that I keep going back for the green, but these might be really great, especially on the more lighter paper like this. Not the yellow parchment, but the white parchment. Well, it's not really white. It's like an off-white. But it's really lovely. I mean, you can see how well this paper soaks up the ink. and stuff. Just drank all that up. Look at that. Alright, so I will take after pictures, and I might do another video just to show these off when they're dry. What do you think? Does that sound like a good idea? Why not, right? See the before and after? Alright, thanks for watching. Have a great day.